We figure if we get another one or two of these big banks to actually take out the 2022 lows, it's going to start to get noticed. Instead of all the focus being on one, regional banks, or two, a mismanaged bank. Good excuse for the Fed, And then suddenly the public's going to say, uh-oh, this is getting out.
Welcome to Silver News Daily, your ultimate destination for all things precious metals. If you're passionate about the glimmer of silver and the world of precious metals, you're in the right place. By hitting that magical subscribe button, you're joining a community of like-minded thinkers who see the potential of silver and precious metals shaping the future. Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the latest news and updates. Hey there, my friend. It's always such a delight to catch up and chat about the world of gold and silver, especially on Silver News Daily. I got some fascinating tidbits to share with you today that'll surely pique your interest. You know, silver's been making some waves recently, displaying quite the dance around that crucial $23 mark. Isn't it intriguing? It seems there's a bit of a tug of war happening in the markets, and I must say, it's rather captivating to watch. On one hand, there's this ever-resilient US dollar. On the other, there's the air of anticipation around the Federal Reserve's potential soft landing approach. It's like the markets are trying to find their North Star amid the ever-deepening global uncertainties. A little birdie told me that the S&P 500 started off on a rather optimistic note. Investors seem to be digesting and coming to terms with the fears surrounding rising interest rates by various central banks around the globe. And the US dollar? Oh, after its strong rally, it's hanging out sideways around that 105.00 mark. There's a shared sentiment that brighter days lie ahead for the US economy, a golden path, if you will. In fact, Austin Goolsbee from the Chicago Fed Bank mentioned the central bank's aspirations of pushing the economy towards this so-called golden path. Imagine a scenario where inflation steps back, bows out, all without triggering a recession. Tricky, right? And talking about inflation, it seems the Fed has its eyes set on strong wage growth. The increased disposable income is a double-edged sword. It's excellent for consumers, but has the potential to fan those inflationary fires. Keep an eye out for the U.S. Consumer Price Index data for August. Word on the street is that it'll be out next Wednesday at 12:30, and it's going to be quite the reveal. Now diving into the technicalities for a moment, silver's dance around the $23.30 mark, which happens to be just below the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, is almost poetic. I've been observing the 50-period exponential moving average, which sits at around $23.13. It's like an invisible wall, keeping the bullish silver enthusiasts at bay. But there's a shimmer of hope. The bearish momentum seems to have faded a tad, as evidenced by the Relative Strength Index (RSI) shift. Silver's recent trajectory had quite a few traders scratching their heads trying to discern its future direction. But you know what? While there might be short-term hiccups, it's essential to remember the big picture. Markets have their ebbs and flows, and right now, silver is hovering close to the lower boundary of a range that's become all too familiar. There's talk about potential thresholds at $22.50 and even the $20 mark. But here's the thing, my friend. Patterns like these, they're cyclical, repeating year after year. Just as we prepare for winter by bringing out the warm clothes, markets too anticipate and position themselves for forthcoming changes. Speaking of patterns, I've noticed something quite fascinating in the silver market recently. There's been this protracted back and forth pattern, almost like a pendulum swing. It's been going on for several months, and I can't help but wonder if the market is just gearing up for something big. You know how it is, right? Before a significant leap, there's often a moment of stillness. It's like the calm before the storm. It's quite the cyclical occurrence, almost as if the market is getting ready for the fall season and the colder months that lie ahead. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For those looking for a silver lining, pun intended, there's always hope on the horizon. If silver can climb its way past Thursday's session high, the gates to recent peaks might just open up. However, there's this looming hurdle at the $25.50 mark. I've been tracking silver for a while, and let me tell you, that mark has historically proven to be quite the challenge. But if it's overcome, the skies might just clear up for a potential climb to $26.50. Exciting, isn't it? Now, for all my fellow enthusiasts who love diving into the nitty-gritty, there are a few factors that we need to keep a close watch on. Remember our chat about the US dollar? Its trajectory is crucial. Historically, when the dollar flexes its muscles, silver prices tend to shy away. It's almost like an age-old dance, where one leads and the other follows. Moreover, we can't ignore the chatter about the Green New Deal and what it means for industrial demand. Such initiatives have the potential to sway the scales in ways we might not even anticipate. And my friend, don't get me started on interest rates. They're like that unpredictable cousin who comes to family dinners. You never know what they're going to bring to the table. higher rates can sometimes make precious metals like silver less alluring. It's a delicate balance, really. To sum it up, the silver market is like a boat in choppy waters right now. Yes, there's a chance it might sail close to the $22.50 mark, but remember, it's been dancing within a familiar range for quite some time. I've seen this pattern play out since May, and while there might be short-term turbulence, the long game is always more exhilarating. Still, as we navigate these waters, it's always best to keep an eye on those key indicators. They're like our compass, guiding us through the highs and lows of this thrilling silver journey. You know, every time I dive deep into the history of silver prices, I get this incredible sense of awe. The market's capability to shock, surprise, and delight is unmatched. It's like reading an adventure novel, where every chapter brings a new twist. Have you ever thought about how silver performs in a bull market? I did some digging and oh boy, the results were astounding. Let's hop into our time machine and take a quick journey. Picture the 1970s, disco was the rage and bell-bottoms were in vogue. During that very decade, the price of silver went from a humble $1.70 an ounce to a jaw-dropping nearly $50 an ounce. I mean, that's close to a 3,000% leap in just 10 years. Incredible, right? Fast forward to the 2000s and we see silver dancing its way from a $5 mark to a commanding $30 an ounce, marking a 600% ascent. Talk about being on a roll. Now bringing ourselves back to present, with the current silver price hovering around $25 per ounce, where do you think a 10-year bull run could take us? Strap in, because these projections are exciting. On a conservative side, drawing from past patterns, we could see silver jetting up to $150. But, and this is where it gets wild, in an ultra-bullish scenario, we might witness a staggering $750 per ounce. Though I'd wager that hitting those stratospheric levels would probably mean our economy is facing hyperinflation. And while that's not an ideal scenario, the silver lining, there's that pun again, is that silver stands as a mighty shield in such times. Just think about it. A potential rise to $150 in a more standard long-term bull market seems not just plausible, but incredibly tantalizing. And these aren't just random numbers. History has a funny way of repeating itself, and these patterns give us a sneak peek into what the future might hold. Whenever I think about the silver market, I'm always reminded of a quote that goes something like, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." And isn't that the essence of investing? Seeking opportunities when the tides are tumultuous. Silver, with its illustrious history and versatile uses, serves as a testament to this. We've seen its highs and lows, but one thing remains constant. Its allure and the promise it holds for the future. Now, speaking of the future, I've got some more intriguing insights to share. Let's pivot our discussion to the broader economic landscape, as it's essential to see the larger picture when we talk about precious metals. With global uncertainties on the rise and economic conditions fluctuating, there's always an air of anticipation. Investors worldwide are constantly looking for signs, indicators, and patterns to make the best moves. The silver market, amidst all this, remains a beacon of interest, showcasing potential despite the hurdles. The US dollar, being the global currency, naturally plays a pivotal role in the valuation of precious metals. And guess what? Even as we witness its subdued state recently, there's a compelling factor adding a layer of intrigue. The Federal Reserve's stance, with its vision of a golden path for the economy, aims at balancing inflation without plunging into a recession. Now, that's a tightrope walk if there ever was one. But what does it mean for silver? With the resilience of the US dollar, even amidst these global uncertainties, the silver price finds itself in a bit of a tussle. It's a classic scenario of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. But here's the fun part. Amidst these macroeconomic dynamics, the S&P 500 is showing some positive vibes. As global economic concerns persist, notably around rising interest rates, the market seems to be slowly digesting these fears, and all eyes are now on the upcoming US Consumer Price Index data. Trust me, that piece of data could be the game changer. It's almost like waiting for the next episode of your favorite show. The anticipation is real. The magic lies in understanding these interplays. Every piece of news, every economic indicator, and every shift in the market dynamics weaves a story. And as silver enthusiasts, it's thrilling to be part of this ever-evolving narrative. You ever find yourself gazing at the stars on a clear night, trying to connect the dots and make out constellations? Well, in the world of silver, the market patterns and technical indicators are our constellations. They might seem a tad bit complex, but with a little guidance, it becomes an exciting journey to chart and understand. Let's unravel this celestial map of silver together. Picture this. Silver is now flirting dangerously close to a significant support level, which stands firmly at $22.50. It's like watching a trapeze artist swinging close to the ground, and we're all holding our breath. If it breaks through, we could see it potentially spiral down to $20. But every dip in the silver market is like a cliffhanger in our favorite series. We're left wondering, what's going to happen next? Analyzing a market charts reveals a fascinating pattern. Imagine waves lapping at the shore. There's a rhythm, an ebb and flow. Silver's price movement showcases a similar back and forth pattern, and it's been consistently doing so for months. It's like nature's cycle, predictable yet mesmerizing. This cyclicality echoes a scenario where the market is gearing up, accumulating strength and position, especially with the fall season and the chills of winter right around the corner. Now, here comes a juicy tidbit. If silver were to break its pattern, pushing past its recent highs, we might be seeing a rally towards some exciting numbers. However, it's crucial to keep an eye out for the $25.50 mark, which has in the past acted like a stubborn gatekeeper for silver. If our shiny friend manages to overcome this, then $26.50 could be our next rendezvous point. But as we joyously map this starry expanse, remember that several factors can influence this celestial dance. The trajectory of the US dollar, whispers about green initiatives, and of course, the looming interest rates play pivotal roles. These elements are our cosmic events, and understanding them ensures we never lose our way in the vast universe of silver. So, you remember those epic adventure movies where our hero discovers a hidden treasure map? Think of the silver market as that map, and guess what? We're about to embark on that grand adventure, deciphering the clues and unlocking the potential treasures. Here's some food for thought. What if silver plunges into a bull market? Hold on to your hats because we might be in for a wild ride. Let's crunch some numbers and set our imaginations alight. If we flash back to the glitzy 1970s, silver went on an unparalleled journey from a mere $1.70 an ounce to a staggering $50. That's a jaw-dropping 3,000% surge in a decade. Fast forward to the 2000s, silver, our shining protagonist, took another leap from $5 an ounce to a cool $30, marking a 600% ascent. Given these historical adventures, imagine if silver was on the cusp of another bull run, starting from our current price point around $25 per ounce. A decade-long journey could see silver prices skyrocketing anywhere from $150 to a monumental $750 per ounce. Mind-blowing, isn't it? Now a jump to $750 would possibly paint a picture of a hyperinflationary world. But let's stay optimistic. A 600% rise, taking silver to $150, feels like a dream we can realistically chase in a thriving bull market scenario. To wrap this up, the Silver Odyssey is filled with its ups and downs, its challenges, and its milestones. But it's the potential, the dreams, and the bright horizons that make this journey truly captivating. Thanks for being a part of this expedition with Silver News Daily, and would also just like to take this moment to remind you that this is not investment advice, and you should always speak to a financial advisor before making any decisions. Here's to many more adventures together in the shimmering world of silver.